Hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I'm a regular dude walking in the Word. Hey, we're going through Ephesians right now, and we're talking about the armor of God. I've got my, helmet of salvation. I've got my sword of the Spirit here. I've got other armor sitting around here, and we're going to be talking about each one of those pieces of armor. The first day we talked about this, we were talking about we need to let God fight the battle. Okay, we are putting on this armor, but these things are from God. Okay, and then what we talked about yesterday was defending against the devil's schemes. Okay, he's not doing this as a fair fight. He's going to attack you when you least expect it. Okay, and now today we want to talk about who is our enemy. And that, can you imagine you're going into battle? Let's say, right now you have Russia and Ukraine in war. Okay, but can you imagine the Russian has come in to attack Ukraine. But can you imagine how hard it would be to try and defeat the enemy? The Russians are coming into Ukraine, but the Russians are disguised as Ukrainians, okay? And they're driving around in tanks that are painted with Ukrainian flags on them and stuff like that. How hard it would be to defeat the enemy if we don't know who they are. Like, is this guy a Ukrainian? Is this our enemy, or is this a Russian? And so it's the same way. We need to know who our enemy is, and the Bible tells us who our enemy is. So if you look in chapter 6 of Ephesians, verse 12, okay, let me read that today. It says, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in this heavenly realm, in the heavenly realms." Okay? So the thing is, we're fighting not against people. That's a big thing for us to remember. Not against people, but we're fighting against the rulers and... We're fighting is not against flesh and blood, not against people, okay? But against the rulers, against the authorities, and against the powers of the dark world, okay? And the spirits of this dark world. So it's spiritual forces that we're fighting against, okay? And I'm not going to defeat the spiritual forces on my own. There's no way. So I have to rely on God to do that. So the big thing to remember here is this. You will run across people, and you will think, I've got to defeat that person, because that's the devil. They're living like that. No, you have to remember that those people are being influenced by demonic forces. You're fighting against this armor is given to fight against the demonic forces, not to defeat that guy. Okay, so you'll have someone in church, and he's going against everything that is godly in the church. And you're like, oh, we got to get rid of that guy. Remember, you're not fighting against that guy. You're fighting against the spiritual forces that are influencing that guy. Okay? It's easy for us to remember, too, as we raise, help out with the foster care system and raising children and stuff. And a lot of times you'll have a child that has this behavior, and you have to look at beyond the behavior. You have to look at beyond the child. You can, be mad at the child and upset at the child and so forth, but you have to look beyond the child. Like, why is this child acting this way? Well, it's because they were abused or neglected or whatever earlier on, and it's spiritual forces that are dealing with that. So we have to pray against those things, those spiritual things. And remember, we're not battling against that person. We're battling against the spiritual forces that are influencing that person. Okay? So hopefully that helps you understand as we go through this, the armor of God here, that you're not fighting against people. Okay? You're fighting not against flesh. You're fighting against the spiritual forces. Thank you for watching. I'm a regular dude walking in the Word, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue our journey through Ephesians, specifically talking about each piece of this equipment here of the armor of God. Lord's blessing. I'll see you tomorrow.